This is Booked for Drama, where stories burn, hearts break, the tea is always hot and never a part 2. Today we're diving into You're Nothing Without My Love. Let's go. Chapter 1. Austin Everett stopped fiddling with his thumb ring and looked at me with dark, unreadable eyes. Are you sure? He asked. It's not like I haven't given Jonah enough chances, I replied with a shrug. 3 strikes and you're out, right? The fact that he delayed our wedding 3 times for another woman's sake proves that we're not meant to be together. Why should I remain stubborn about it? Chuckling, Austin cocked a brow and said, since you've made up your mind, I'll get my people to start preparing the wedding. An Everett wedding will be the center of everyone's attention. You'll need to be mentally prepared for that. In 2 weeks, everyone will know who the wife of the future successor to Everett Group is. I gazed solemnly at Austin, knowing that he was earnestly declaring his decision. Sure, and don't worry. My family, the Fergusons, will do our best to support Everett Group. We won't be a burden. Laughing once more, Austin glanced at me and said pointedly, I didn't do it for Everett Group. Once I got back to the house, I quickly cleared everything related to me. When Jonah Alston came in, he was startled, but soon, he scoffed. Here you go again, Celeste. Are you a baby? Don't you find it childish to throw a tantrum and run away from home each time we have a fight? Are you that desperate to get married? I already said it was just an unfortunate overlap between the dates. It's not like I'm refusing to marry you. As his annoyed tone filled the room, I deftly continued packing my things without looking at him. Who said I was leaving? There are too many things lying around here. I'm tossing out everything that's not needed anymore. That included him, of course. Jonah leaned against the door and placed a cigarette between his lips indifferently. Oh, in that case, you can tidy up the guest bedroom while you're at it. Sasha will be moving in soon. The art gallery is nearby, so it'll be convenient for her to stay here. Nodding, I replied, sure. I'll get the staff to prepare the guest bedroom tomorrow. What else do you think she'll need? Jonah, who was in the middle of lighting his cigarette, paused in disbelief. His tone abruptly grew gentle as he said, I know things must have been hard on you, sweetheart. You like the wedding bands from Cartier, right? Let's get another pair so that you have 2 to switch between. I might not be able to spend much time with you. These days, it's Sasha's first time having a solo art exhibition. I need to help her out with it. Once my schedule clears up after the end of her exhibition, I'll be sure to make time for you. Feeling a tightness in my chest, I couldn't turn around to face Jonah. Still, my voice was unusually pleasant as I replied, it's fine. I don't need you to make time for me. You can go ahead with whatever you need to do. It just so happens that I have a lot of things I need to clear out and settle anyway. Jonah never bothered asking why someone like me, who favored a minimalist lifestyle, would suddenly have so many belongings to get rid of. He simply thought I had suddenly become a lot more understanding. Feeling pleased, he said, well, since you mentioned it, I was thinking we should turn the study into an art studio instead. It gets a decent amount of sunlight. It's such a waste to simply use it as storage for all your research-related stuff. Why don't we let Sasha use it as her workspace instead? You're absolutely right, I said, still briskly packing things away. She likes that room a lot. It'll be her dedicated workspace from now on. Since Sasha Lester loved moving in on someone else's man so much, she might as well move into the house too. The next day, without even bothering to have breakfast first, Jonah rushed to the airport to pick Sasha up from her flight. The media were all in a frenzy reporting about the return of Sasha, the up-and-coming artist who was about to hold her first exhibition in her home country. The news even went viral online, and the online community left positive comments. Isn't this a modern-day fairy tale? I'm inspired to write a novel about the stock market genius and the free-spirited artist. Fat the rich and all, but there's no way I can hate these two. They're such a match made in heaven. They deserve a happy ending. Chapter 2. I was happily browsing the comments section when Austin called. His deep, rich voice flowed through the speaker. My PR department wants to know if you want to take down those news reports and viral hashtags. It's fine, I replied with a knowing smile. If you've got money to spare, you should spend it on the wedding instead. You're not allowed to waste your money on unimportant people. Austin chuckled. All right, let's go shopping for our wedding outfits today. As for the flowers, tell me which type of rose you like the best. I had them shipped in 3 types, so you can choose among them later. I had to marvel at his efficiency. We had only decided to get married yesterday, but he had already managed to bring in 3 types of roses today. In fact, from the moment the decision was made, Austin and his team handled everything. I didn't even lift a finger, but Austin made no comments on that. He simply got everything ready in advance before allowing me to choose what I wanted. I was reminded of how things went when Jonah and I decided to get married. Unlike my role now, back then, I was the one who had to plan and organize everything. Whenever I tried to get Jonah's input on something, he would always snap at me irritatedly. You can make such insignificant decisions yourself. Don't come bothering me with everything. Now that I had Austin's actions to compare to, I finally realized this was how a groom should be behaving. He even prepared close to 50 gowns for me to choose from, and strangely, every single one of them fitted me perfectly. The designer tirelessly encouraged me to try on as many as I could. Mr. Everett approached our team yesterday and made us work overnight to prepare everything. A lot of these wedding gowns had been modified at the last minute. He also requested us to be on standby so that we could make any necessary changes. As he stared at me while I stood there in the dazzling gown he designed, I saw the way his eyes shone with happiness for a soon-to-be newlywed couple. I'm sure Mr. Everett loves you very much. My cheeks turned a little pink as I stole a glance at Austin, who was sporting an unreadable smile. I spent the day trying gowns and picking out my wedding jewelry. I also had to look through all the flower options for the wedding ceremony. Thus, by the time I got back to the house, I was so exhausted that I plopped right on the couch to get some rest. However, as soon as I sat down, I saw an incoming call from Jonah, as well as over a dozen missed calls from earlier. Where are you? Jonah demanded. I told you countless times not to be late. Must you insist on showing up after everyone else just to seem important? Puzzled, I asked, where am I supposed to be? Jonah sneered. I see how it is, Celeste. Here I was thinking you genuinely accepted Sasha now. Turns out you were just putting on a show yesterday, huh? You've even started ignoring my messages, have you? T sent you a message ages ago saying that I'm hosting a welcoming party for Sasha on her first day back. Sasha has kindly insisted on inviting you to join us, so hurry up and come over. I'll send you the location. The call ended before I could get another word in edgewise. The message with the location was soon followed by a voice message. It's been ages since we last met, Celeste. Do come over as soon as you can. I don't want you to misunderstand my relationship with Johnny. That voice message trailed off, and when I played the next one, Jonah's voice rang out. If you don't come over right this minute, Celeste, you can forget about getting the contact information of the editor-in-chief of the journal I promised to give you. That made me hesitate. I had a background in medicine, but I was taking a rather long time to get one of my research papers published because I wanted to have it printed in a specific medical journal. Jonah had chanced upon the contact details for the journal's editor-in-chief and promised to give them to me. Well, here he was, now using it to blackmail me instead. What a deplorable man he was. I stood up and freshened up a bit, figuring I might as well go. Those two wouldn't be able to disgust me for much longer anyway. As soon as I entered the private lounge at the hotel where the party was, I saw Jonah and Sasha sitting together in the center of the lounge. They were stuck close together, looking like the perfect couple. Once Sasha spotted me, she quickly stood up and called out with a smile, "You're here, Celeste. Come and take a seat." She even started scooting to the side to give me her spot, but she barely moved an inch before Jonah stopped her, saying, "Just sit here. You're the star of tonight's party, Sasha. There are plenty of other seats to go around. She can just sit anywhere." Sasha gave me an apologetic look. Looking slightly embarrassed, she said, "I'm so sorry, Celeste. Johnny is probably a little drunk." Waving her off, I took a random seat and said, "It's fine. I can sit here. Your precious Johnny is right. You're the star of tonight's event." Patrick Thompson, one of Jonah's friends, called out, "That's enough. What's the big deal about a seat anyway? You know, when we saw the photos the reporters took today, we all realized just what a perfect match you and Sasha are, Jonah. All of our friends who aren't acquainted with you guys thought you two were dating." Alas, Sasha is so focused on her career. All she can think about is pursuing her dreams. It was such a shame that you two had to break up back then, but now that she's back in the country, you guys can start over again. Chapter 3. Without even looking at me, Jonah said nonchalantly, "Don't be ridiculous. Sasha's dream in life is to become a world-renowned artist." He didn't bother commenting on how Patrick was trying to set him up with Sasha even though I was the one he was supposed to marry soon. Just how much of a pushover was I back then that I could be in love with a man whose heart was devoted to another woman? Biting her lip, Sasha said tearfully, "Don't listen to them, Celeste. They're just joking around, albeit a little carelessly. Please don't take them seriously." She passed me an exquisite-looking box and said, "Here's a gift I brought for you, Celeste." Do take a look and see if you like it. When I opened the box, I was greeted by the sight of a thin, dainty bracelet dotted with some barely visible fragments of rubies. I looked up at Sasha, who was wearing a necklace made with several large, intricately carved rubies. Judging from the style and workmanship, it was obvious it was custom-made. The sight of it made me freeze for a moment. Didn't Jonah get that necklace made for me? He claimed he wanted me to wear that necklace when I walked down the aisle. The brilliance of the red rubies signified his passionate determination to marry me. After preparing the design draft, the designer informed me that once the rubies had been cut for the necklace, some scraps would be left that could be used to make smaller accessories, such as bracelets. Well, the statement necklace meant for my wedding was now being worn around Sasha's neck, and she had just given me the additional bracelet made from the discarded gemstone pieces. I couldn't resist laughing, which Patrick misunderstood for joy. He scoffed in derision, thinking that I was so ignorant that even a bracelet like that seemed precious to me. Someone else in the room muttered, "I can't believe Jonah would be interested in a woman like her." Meanwhile, someone else looked at Sasha and was drawn in by the ruby necklace she was wearing, exclaiming, "Sasha, that's such a gorgeous necklace you're wearing." Shyly fiddling with the necklace, Sasha turned to Jonah with an affectionate gaze and said, "Johnny gave it to me. He said it was to celebrate my return to the country. He also said he'll give me an even better one once my exhibition is over." I abruptly remarked, "Oh, my. How generous of Jonah." Those rubies were a family heirloom passed down from his mother's side. Just the design process for the necklace alone lasted almost 6 months. The rubies were even sent abroad to be cut and polished. That necklace was meant to be passed down in the family among the Alstons' daughters-in-law. "Jonah sure does care about you a lot." Instantly, the room plunged into silence, and Jonah's expression darkened. Even the most clueless of guests earlier started realizing the situation. Since the necklace was meant to be given to the daughter-in-law of the Alston family, it should have been given to me, the one who was about to marry Jonah. And yet, it was now worn around Sasha's neck. What more was there to say about that? Sasha shakily stood up. She clutched the necklace, looking as if she didn't know whether to take it off. Her eyes reddened within seconds. "Team, so sorry, Johnny. I didn't know it was meant to be for Celeste. I'm such a fool. I should have asked you about it." Her tears streamed down her face, making her seem rather pitiful. Hands trembling, she tried to rip the necklace. She even made it seem as though she didn't care if she got injured in the process, for she yanked it against her neck so hard that her skin turned red. "Quick, Johnny. Help me take it off," Sasha pleaded tremblingly, even sounding like she could scarcely breathe. Jonah's heart ached for her. Pulling her hands away, he said, "Since I said it's yours, that means it's yours. Why should you take it off? Just leave it on. Don't listen to her nonsense." Then, he glared at me and continued, "It's just a bunch of rubies. Didn't you study medicine? Why would you care so much about a handful of stones? You even have a doctoral degree. I can't believe you're still so shallow. Aren't you ashamed of acting this way in public? In any case, since it's meant to be for the daughters-in-law of my family, that means it's for my future wife. I have the right to decide who gets to wear it. Don't assume it should be yours. Since I gave it to Sasha, it means she's worthy of it. We're about to get married, aren't we? Why are you still so hung up on these petty things? You'll be my wife anyway, so why aren't you satisfied?" Smiling through her tears, Sasha piped up, "Thank you, Johnny. I really think this ruby necklace matches the gown I'm wearing for the launch of my exhibition really well. It's been so many years, Johnny, but you still know me best." Chapter 4. Eyeing Jonah and Sasha in amusement, I replied, "Oh. Sorry about that. I didn't mean anything by what I said. You two are just being too sensitive. And by the way, it's also best to wear a matching set, no? This bracelet you gave me was made from the scraps left over after making that necklace. You should take it back." Sasha bit her lip and said, "Don't worry, Celeste. Even though Johnny says he wants to give it to me, I know it's meant to be for your wedding. I won't take it. Once my exhibition is over, I'll return it to you, okay?" Patrick seized the opportunity to chime in, "Don't push it, Celeste. Look how scared Sasha is. Must you go this far over a necklace? It's been so long since Sasha came back, but look what you did. Are you satisfied only if you ruin everyone's mood? That's right, Celeste. You come from a respectable family yourself too, don't you? Why are you acting like your family's about to go bankrupt? Who would think you'd be petty enough to fight over a measly necklace?" Jonah's friends had always looked down on me. To them, only a goddess like Sasha was worthy of being with Jonah. In all the years I'd been with Jonah, they never accepted me no matter what I did. They still thought I wasn't good enough for him. Sasha hastily cried out, "Don't say that. Celeste didn't know Johnny gave it to me himself. Now that everything's out in the open, I'm sure Celeste won't hold it against me." Jonah eyed me coldly. "You shouldn't have come in the first place. All you did was ruin the party. Teal, get going then." I swiftly headed for the door, but a thought came to me. "By the way, the guest bedroom at your house is a bit small. I'm guessing it won't be comfortable enough for Sasha. She should have the master bedroom instead." Frowning, Jonah snapped, "What are you talking about? My house? Isn't it our house? Are you trying to kick up a fuss with me now? You're supposed to be my wife soon. Can't you act with a bit more propriety? Once you marry into my family, are you going to throw your temper around with my parents too?" "Marry into your family?" I repeated with an amused smile. "The wedding has been cancelled. Let's not talk about marriage." Flustered, Jonah lunged at me and grabbed my hand, questioning harshly, "What the heck are you talking about? What do you mean the wedding has been cancelled? I only said it'll be delayed. Are you so petty over a necklace that you want to cancel the wedding?" By sheer coincidence, I happened to get a call from Austin, which I answered right in front of Jonah. "Celeste, the designer wants to know what kind of gemstones you want for your wedding jewelry." Recalling the green diamond used for his thumb ring, I replied, "Let's go with green diamonds." Jonah, who only heard what I said, eyed me in scorn. "What's this about a green diamond? Are you getting yourself a diamond just because you didn't get the ruby necklace? Are you that insecure about being less than others?" Meanwhile, Sasha started to cry again. "Johnny, are you getting married?" However, Jonah was too busy ranting at me to answer her. "You better get one thing clear, Celeste. I only agreed to marry you. We haven't even registered our marriage yet, so that means we're not legally married. Don't think you can force me to hold a wedding ceremony with you so that you can become my wife. Apart from the jewelry, what else have you been secretly preparing, huh? The venue? Your wedding gown? Why are you doing it? Are you trying to force me to marry you? Are you that desperate to get married? Have the Fergusons gone bankrupt and can't afford to support you financially anymore?" Jonah was getting more and more outrageous. I didn't want to stick around and argue with him, but I couldn't get his grimy hand off me. "Let go of me," I snapped. "Who said I'm trying to force you to marry you? I can buy whatever I want. What does it have to do with you?" Sneering, Jonah shot back, "Ha! Look at you claiming that you're not trying to force me to marry you. Who else would you marry, besides me? Drop the act. You even got a call about it, so why bother pretending? 'Twas going to be a bit more tolerant with you on account of our family's relationship, but if you continue to throw your tantrum and do such embarrassing things, then don't blame me for not indulging you." Just then, the door was shoved open, and an icy voice demanded, "Let go of her." Chapter 5. Austin had arrived. With his phone still in hand, he marched up to me and pried Jonah's hand off me. Then, he lightly caressed my reddened wrist before asking me with a gentle gaze, "Are you okay?" I nodded to assure him. Now that he was standing between Jonah and me, using his tall, muscular physique to hide me from danger, I felt completely secure. While the two bodyguards behind Austin wordlessly stood guard at the door, Austin put his arm around my shoulder and addressed Jonah with an emotionless expression, "Oh. If it isn't Mr. Alston. Pray tell, why were you grabbing my fiancée by the wrist and spouting nonsense in her face? She's free to wear whatever she wants to our wedding. Even if she asks for a tiara adorned with the stars from the sky, I'll do whatever it takes to get it for her. You've already broken up with her, so why are you sticking your nose in her business? Aren't you worried that one over there might get jealous?" When Austin's piercing eyes flitted over Sasha, the look he had made her tremble in fear, and her eyes immediately teared up. Meanwhile, Jonah's expression hardened. "What did you say? Who are you calling your fiancé?" He tried to pull me over to him, but Austin shielded me well. If not for me, Jonah might never have had the chance to meet Austin in person. After all, their families belonged to entirely different circles. Even Jonah's parents and grandparents had to treat Austin with the utmost respect. Seeing the stoic look on Austin's face, everyone else dared not make a sound. Jonah was the only one who definitely demanded an explanation from me. "I see what's going on here, Celeste. I can't believe you even got Austin Everett to put on a show with you. Since you've gone to such great lengths just to marry me, so be it. I promise this is the last time I'll postpone our wedding, okay?" I couldn't even be bothered to look Jonah in the eye. Instead, I allowed Austin to pull me into his arms and escort me out of the room. As the car cruised down the streets, I looked at Austin and exhaled, saying, "Thanks a lot for your help today. How did you know where I was?" He smiled at me, the light in his eyes particularly enchanting. "You didn't end the call, so I heard the fight. That reminded me of the welcome home party Jonah was throwing for his first love. You could ask a random person on the street, and they would have heard about it too. So, it was easy to find out where it was being held. That made me laugh. Meanwhile, Jonah was spamming my phone with calls. I didn't bother rejecting them, though I didn't take them either. Once he realized I wasn't going to answer his calls, he started bombarding me with messages instead. What's the meaning of this, Celeste? Did you get people to put on a show with you just to humiliate Sasha? How many times have I told you that you got the wrong idea about Sasha and me? Don't be so easily influenced by baseless rumors. Sasha is crying her heart out right now. She keeps saying she's the reason you've misunderstood us. Once she moves in tomorrow, you better clear things up with her properly. She's completely innocent. This has nothing to do with her. Where are you now, Celeste? Why aren't you coming back? Sasha is too afraid to even come back to the house with me. She insists on staying at a hotel instead because she doesn't want us to fight. Hurry up and come back. His tirade filled my screen. Resisting the bitterness in my heart, I turned my phone off and closed my eyes. It was indeed time to say goodbye. I spent the night at my own house. The next day, I went to the house that was meant to be Jonah's and my marital home. I had hired people to ship off most of the things yesterday, including all of the materials related to my research in the study. The only thing left for me to retrieve was a small suitcase. The moment I opened the front door, I heard Sasha saying sweetly to Jonah, "You cook so well, Johnny. I could never recreate the same flavors when I lived abroad. I missed you so much while I was over there. Come on, eat with me." Jonah chuckled affectionately. "Oh, you silly goose. If you like it so much, you can have it anytime you want. Now that you're back in the country, I'll cook for you every day." Hearing that, Sasha slowly set her cutlery down. "But Johnny, you're about to get married. I'm sure Celeste won't want us to be too close anymore. It won't look good." "What's the big deal? Haven't you always known how I felt about you? Celeste and I are only together because of our parents. Don't you know who I truly want to marry?" I tossed my keys down, and the clang that rang out as they hit the floor startled the two, cutting their heartfelt exchange short. Chapter 6. Jonah hastily released Sasha's hand. Sasha was wearing a deep purple nightgown with intricate lace flowers. Most importantly, it was a sexy design with a deep V-neck in the front and backless down to the waist behind. I had specifically prepared this nightgown for my wedding night. To think she had not only usurped the house meant to be my marital home, but she had even put on my clothes. It was as if she was already the lady of the house. When Sasha saw my eyes fixed on the nightgown, she quickly covered the front with her hair and lowered her head, saying bashfully, "Sorry about this, Celeste. I haven't had time to bring my belongings over yet, so Johnny said I could wear your clothes first. He searched for ages, but this was the only new thing he could find, so he gave it to me. You don't mind, right, Celeste?" Smiling faintly, I replied, "I don't mind at all." I headed for the master bedroom to retrieve my suitcase. The door was ajar, and the smell that lingered in the room was unmistakable. What with the underwear both male and female strewn across the floor, it was obvious what had taken place in the room earlier. Jonah followed me to the room and hurriedly closed the door, saying, "Don't get the wrong idea. We didn't go all the way." I had a hard time keeping my disgust in check. Covering my mouth with my hand, I grabbed my suitcase and avoided his outstretched hand. "Get out of the way." When Sasha saw me heading for the front entrance, she asked timidly, "Are you leaving, Celeste?" I didn't even bother turning around to look at her. Austin's driver came over to take my suitcase and put it in the trunk, so I passed it to him before opening the car door. Jonah rushed forward and grabbed me, asking, "What are you doing? You spent the night away, and now, you're leaving with your things? Do you think this is a hotel? You've kicked up enough of a fuss now. If you keep this up, don't blame me for not putting up with you anymore. I won't stop you from leaving, but you better not expect me to try and convince you to come back." I couldn't muster the strength to play nice anymore, nor did I want him to misunderstand my attitude. "Things are over between us, Jonah. From now on, we'll go our separate ways. Let's never see each other again." As I got into the car, Jonah continued to scoff at me. My words had provoked him. "So be it, you've got such a nasty temper. If you want to throw a tantrum, go right ahead. I'll give you a few days to calm down. You can come back once you're willing to acknowledge your mistakes." Austin was the future successor to Everett Group. It went without saying that his wedding ceremony had to be an extravagant affair. Plus, since it was organized on such short notice, the entire company was involved in the planning and arrangement of the ceremony. Soon, my parents got the news about it. Stunned as they were, they felt happy for me too. Why did the groom change all of a sudden? Mom asked. Although we've known him since he was a kid too. Well, I always thought you didn't really like him. Mom's question stumped me for a moment, but when I recalled the earnest look in Austin's eyes that day, I felt confident in my choice. That's ancient history, Mom. Aren't I your daughter? Don't you want me to marry a good man? Mom poked me in the head, saying, of course, I do. Well, I'm glad you can see things clearly now. Both Austins and my parents fully supported our marriage. Being an extremely wealthy family, the Everetts even spared no expense to ensure that the wedding would go off without a hitch. Austin's parents even paid my family a visit and brought jewels, all family heirlooms for me to choose from. The jewels filled the living room with their dazzling beauty, blinding me as I tried to select one while both his and my parents watched in adoration. Sasha successfully launched her solo exhibition on the day of our wedding ceremony. To throw her a celebration, Jonah booked a private room at an established hotel in the city and invited a bunch of his friends. Unexpectedly, few people showed up. Looking displeased and even a little uneasy, Jonah snapped, "Why is everyone late? They're not even taking my calls. What are they doing?" One of his friends looked at him and said, "Austin Everett, the successor to Everett Group, is getting married to Celeste, the daughter of the Ferguson family today. It goes without saying that everyone in Haslow who received an invitation has gone over to attend the wedding ceremony. Nothing would keep them away, not even if they were on their deathbed. It's no wonder barely anyone showed up here." Jonah froze. Soon, all the blood had drained out of his face. Grabbing his friend by the collar, he asked, "What did you say? Who is Austin marrying?" Terrified, the man stammered, "Celeste, of course. Who else could it be? She's the only daughter the Fergusons have. There's even a live broadcast of the wedding ceremony that is being shared internationally." Chapter 7. Jonah grabbed the remote control and turned on the television in the room, only to witness the climax of the wedding ceremony. Austin took the ring from the flower girl. The diamond sparkled under the light, but that was nothing compared to the shine in his eyes as he looked at me. "Thank you for giving me a chance. I swear to devote my life to loving you and protecting you. Do you take me for your husband?" "Do." Once Austin heard my answer, he slipped the ring with the massive diamond on my finger. As the weight of it registered in my head, my heart seemed to fill up and expand as well. Austin lifted my veil and gave me a soft, earnest kiss. Jonah clutched his wine glass so hard that it snapped. Soon, blood trickled down his fingers. "No, it's all an act. It's a lie. Celeste would never marry anyone else. She loves me. Why would she marry another man?" The girlfriend of one of his friends shot him a contemptuous look. "Why not? I can't believe you even have the audacity to ask that question. She wanted to marry you, but you postponed the wedding 3 times. That's enough to wipe out even the most ardent of love." Eyes filled with anger, Jonah roared, "That's impossible. I only postponed the wedding. It's not like I broke up with her." Ignoring the looks coming from her boyfriend, the woman responded mockingly, "Why are you trying to act like you're so deeply in love with her? Not only did you postpone the wedding just for Sasha's sake, but you even did it 3 times. If I'd been in her shoes, I would have cracked your skull by now. Why are you acting so shocked about it?" Turning her attention to the screen, she said enviously, "In any case, if I were Celeste, I would have chosen Austin too. He's so handsome, and I heard they were childhood sweethearts too. The Everetts are absurdly wealthy, but most importantly, Austin is nothing but loyal. I heard he's been in love with her for many years now." Jonah couldn't take it anymore. He ran for the door, ignoring Sasha who desperately called out to him. By the time he rushed into the hotel, Austin was leading me around, holding my hand as he introduced me to his relatives. Jonah grabbed my hand and said, "Come with me at once, Celeste. Consider this wedding ceremony cancelled." What a joke that was. Austin signaled his bodyguards while dragging Jonah away from me. Shielding me protectively, Austin questioned, "Have you lost your mind, Jonah? Celeste and I have just exchanged our wedding vows. What gives you the right to barge in here and demand that she leave with you?" Jonah's parents hurried over to stop him, all the while apologizing to Austin and me. "What are you doing, Jonah? The Fergusons and the Everetts are celebrating the happy union of the 2 families today. Why are you causing trouble without taking into account the situation first?" Sasha, who had followed Jonah over, chimed in to twist things around. "Please don't misunderstand the situation, Mr. and Mrs. Alston. Johnny has every right to be upset. Celeste kept saying she wanted to marry Johnny. He only had to postpone the wedding because he had to. Who would have thought that Celeste would just turn around and marry a random man without even saying anything? Don't mean to lecture you, Celeste, but how can you treat Johnny like that? You and Johnny had been together for so many years. Did it never occur to you just how upset he would be if you did something like this? Her dramatically spun version of the truth amused me. Turning toward her, I asked, Sasha, don't tell me you don't know why Jonah repeatedly delayed the wedding. Why are you acting like I had betrayed Jonah despite his love for me? Who are you to question me on his behalf? Chapter 8. The first time Jonah and I set a wedding date, you claimed you had just had surgery and were having a hard time abroad. You couldn't sleep well at night or eat proper meals, so you wanted Jonah to go over there to accompany you. Even though we had already sent out our wedding invites by then, he dropped everything and flew to you, I reminded Sasha. The second time we set our wedding date, you said you needed to go somewhere remote to get inspiration for your art. You also claimed there would be poor reception there and that you wouldn't be able to stay in touch at all times. You kept dropping hints about how dangerous it was out there and how you might suddenly drop all contact with everyone. Jonah was so worried about you that he followed you there. I continued, as for the third time, you arranged to launch your art exhibition on the same day of our wedding ceremony. Even a fool can figure out why you did that. Yet here you are, asking me why I'm turning my back on Jonah. Well, why don't you ask yourself something instead? Since you think he's so great, why don't you marry him? Why are you just stringing him along, letting him remain as your lapdog throughout these years? Sasha turned pale, eyes brimming with tears. She covered her mouth to hide her sobs, looking all frail and pitiful. That's not true. That was never my intention. I never knew you misunderstood me that much. I have never thought about coming between you and Johnny. Meanwhile, Jonah finally snapped back to his senses, but unfortunately, the bodyguards held him back. All he could do was fix his eyes on me and yell, "You said you love me, Celeste. How can you get married to another man instead? You lied to me." Toying with my lace gloves, I replied, "I did love you, but I don't anymore. I got too tired. I'm in love with someone else now, and marrying him is a dream come true for me." Don't you have someone else that you've loved all these years too? Isn't this for the best then? We both get to marry the person we want to marry. However, Jonah continued to protest, saying, "I didn't agree to break up with you." Austin, who was still shielding me, replied, "Celeste already told you she wants to end things with you. She doesn't need your permission to call it quits. Plenty of people are gathered here today. Are you sure you want everyone to find out all about the things you've done?" Putting an arm around my shoulder, Austin said gently, "Celeste, remember the professor I mentioned? He's one of the guests here today. You can ask him about the research paper you want to get published." Jonah continued to throw a fit. He even tried to grab at me again. "I won't allow you to be with another man, Celeste." Immediately, Austin punched Jonah in the face. "That's enough. Don't push your luck. If not out of respect for Mr. and Mrs. Alston, you wouldn't be getting away with just a punch." Mr. and Mrs. Alston hastened over to hold Jonah back while profusely apologizing to Austin and me. "We're so sorry. It's our fault for not raising him right. We'll get him out of here right away," Mr. Alston said, grabbing Jonah by the collar. He snarled, "You've caused enough trouble. Get out of here. Haven't you humiliated our family enough already?" Sasha seized her chance to help Jonah up, but not before making sure that she said just loud enough for everyone to hear, "Don't be angry with Johnny, Mr. Alston. This is all Celeste's fault." I turned back around and walked up to her. "It's my fault, you say? How so?" I questioned. "Is it my fault that you got in bed with the man who was supposed to be my fiancé? Is it my fault that I let you into the house that was meant to be my marital home? Is it my fault that you wore my nightgown and seduced my ex-fiancé? Well, in that case, you're right. It's my fault." It never occurred to me that the prim and proper Ms. Lester, the much-acclaimed artist, was secretly fond of being a homewrecker. Chapter 9. Everyone was in an uproar as my words rang loud and clear. It was as if I had slapped Sasha in the face. As the crowd began criticizing her, she wobbled on her feet and stumbled backward, almost losing her balance. That explains everything. I knew it. Any woman who clings to a man with a fiancé is surely up to no good. Did you see the way she tried to twist things around? I would never be able to be as cunning and manipulative as her, not even if I spent my entire life practicing. Here I was thinking she was a decent, kind-hearted person. Turns out she's just shameless. It doesn't seem like she likes Jonah all that much anyway. If she did, why else would she keep him on the hook like that for years? To think she put on another woman's nightgown and fooled around with that woman's fiancé in their future marital home. I feel like puking. Anyone who gets involved with her will surely come to a bad end. Seeing this, Jonah hurriedly protected Sasha, saying, "Don't say that about Sasha. She's innocent. If you want to blame someone for what happened, blame me. I slapped Jonah right in the face, hitting him so hard that he stared at me in disbelief. Of course you're to blame. Things wouldn't have turned out this way if you weren't a cheater. You kept saying you wanted to marry me, but at the same time, you were having an illicit relationship with another woman. You two sure are a match made in heaven. You're both equally disgusting. Well, hurry up and get together. Don't end up ruining someone else's life. Sasha kept weeping, looking helpless and pitiful. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. I'll leave at once. I'll never show up in front of you and Johnny ever again. I could hardly keep the look of repulsion off my face as I glanced at her, retorting, go wherever you want. Only a fool like Jonah would be so desperate to be your lapdog. Do you really think anyone else gives a damn about you? Throughout these years, you've gotten quite a lot by latching onto the Alstons, haven't you? How much money did Jonah give you to fund your studies abroad? Sure, you may be touted as an up-and-coming artist now, but you know how flimsy that title is, don't you? I advised, you should settle for what you have while you're still young and have someone who wants you. Don't push your luck. Once word gets out about you and Jonah, do you think anyone with any semblance of a respectable background would want you, let alone a member of high society? Sasha couldn't bear to stick around anymore. Covering her face, she ran out of the hotel. Jonah tried to speak, but the bodyguards hauled him out before he could. Once Austin and I returned from our honeymoon, my friend, Georgia Moore, immediately invited me out to fill me in on the gossip. I had such a hard time keeping the news to myself while you were off having fun with your new husband. I've been waiting for you to get back so that you can enjoy the show with me. Georgia exclaimed with a mischievous laugh. Do you know that Sasha has nothing and no one to turn to now? The Lesters heard about what happened on your wedding day, and all the people who wanted to discuss a marriage alliance with the family have backed out. Mr. Lester's furious. Since he can't use Sasha to establish a marriage alliance, his company is about to go bankrupt. He even kicked her out in anger. Sasha had no choice but to go looking for Jonah, but Mrs. Alston had frozen all his credit cards and bank account. He's only allowed to stay with his family now. He can't even have a meal outside. And Sasha's still staying at the house that was meant to be Jonah's marital home. She keeps trying to find someone to take pity on her, but no one is willing to meet up with her. I simply smiled faintly as I took it all in. Jonah was now busy pretending to have learned his lesson and recognized the error of his ways. He kept running over to my place, sending me flowers and giving me jewelry. He was a pesky fly that was impossible to kill. He even got a set of Mrs. Alston's jewelry and had it sent to the Ferguson residence with a message attached. Celeste, you'll forever be the woman I love the most and the only one I want to marry. Come back to me, sweetheart. Chapter 10. Repulsed by Jonah's message, Austin gnashed his teeth and swore to have the Alstons chased out of the country, making sure they disappeared from my life for good. I couldn't help but laugh at the childish tantrum he was throwing. It's far beneath you to let the words of someone like him bother you, I said. Despite saying that myself, I was rather annoyed too. Therefore, Austin suggested that we move to our newly renovated marital home. We even decided to throw a housewarming party and invite a few of our closest friends. Surprisingly, on the day of the housewarming party, Sasha showed up. She didn't cause a scene like she did the last time. Instead, she kept her eyes fixed on me, looking for an opportunity to talk to me. Georgia marched right up to Sasha to stop her. How did you get in? Leave at once. You're not welcome here. Even the bodyguards stayed close to make sure Sasha couldn't get to me. Seeing that, she yelled, You're a married woman now, Celeste. Why are you cheating on your husband? Aren't you afraid your husband might divorce you? Austin, who was peeling prawns for me, looked up and pursed his lips. Do you think she's actually insane? Sasha seized this chance to push Georgia aside and rush forward. She screamed at Austin, Don't be fooled by her, Mr. Everett. Jonah comes over every day to beg for her forgiveness. How can you be sure that she hasn't given in and decided to betray you? Austin wiped his hands on a napkin before saying to me, Come and eat, darling. I've peeled everything for you. It won't taste as good once it gets old. Then, he turned to Sasha and said, Your petty little tricks don't work on me. I'm not the fool Jonah is. You can't string me along and make me lose my mind with just a few words. Sasha eyed me resentfully, snarling, You must be feeling so smug right now, right, Celeste? Do you think you've won just because Jonah refuses to see me now? I wanted to roll my eyes at her. What makes you think Jonah is such a fine catch that I'd want to fight over him with you? He's nothing but trash in my eyes. I wouldn't even want to pollute the oceans by tossing him in. Since you like him so much, hurry up and take him away. Sasha tried to speak, but Jonah abruptly showed up, interrupting her. Ignoring the bodyguard's attempts to stop him, he cried out at me, "Don't listen to Sasha's nonsense, Celeste. Nothing happened between her and me. I'm not the father of her baby." Everyone was stupefied. No one expected Sasha to be pregnant. Sasha lunged at Jonah and smacked him several times, protesting tearfully, "How can you say that? This is your child, Johnny. Why won't you admit it? Give me another chance, Celeste," Jonah desperately called out. "I'll throw you the grandest wedding in history. I'll give you everything you want. Look, I took back the ruby necklace. It'll always be yours." With an exasperated smile, I questioned, "Jonah, what makes you think I would want a necklace someone else had already worn?" I looked at Austin, whose eyes shone when our gazes met, before continuing, "Austin and I are very happy together. We have a blissful marriage. He gives me all the best things in life and he makes sure I'm the only one who has it. Don't expect someone to spend all their time waiting for you, Jonah." Soon, everyone heard about the spectacle. The Alstons refused to believe that Sasha was pregnant with Jonah's child. In the end, they had to get a paternity test done. Alas, the child Jonah adamantly refused to acknowledge was, in fact, his. The Alstons had no choice but to accept that too. However, they didn't hold a wedding or even bother with a proper engagement. All they did was have Jonah and Sasha get a marriage license. Finally, I managed to publish the research paper I had worked on for almost 2 years, and I even became a professor at the best university in Haslow. When Georgia invited me out to celebrate, she filled me in on more gossip. Sasha wasn't satisfied with the Alstons' harsh treatment of her and refusal to support her career. For the sake of selling her paintings, she secretly aborted the baby and got involved with the owner of an art gallery, becoming his mistress. The Alstons only begrudgingly accepted Sasha as their daughter-in-law out of consideration for the child she was carrying. Now that she had an abortion, they weren't going to keep her around anymore. Soon, she was forced to get a divorce from Jonah. Not long after that, whether by chance or premeditated, someone leaked the affair she had with the art gallery owner. His wife came knocking on her door and beat her up too. Just like that, plagued by a series of scandals, the up-and-coming artist vanished from sight. No one knew where Sasha went. However, none of that had anything to do with me. I had long since moved on and found the joy of my life, leaving no regrets behind. The end. And that's a wrap on today's reading here at Booked for Drama. If you felt anything, rage, swoon, secondhand heartbreak, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow drama lovers. If you have any requests, drop them in the comments. Until next time, keep reading, and keep the drama on the page.